Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a different kind of reading. It's just a general reading, but it is going to be a pick a pile reading. So I'm going to split it up into 3 piles. I have already shuffled the cards, but I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them a couple of times more before I split up the piles. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been watching my videos and interacting. This is really exciting for me, so I really appreciate the support and the love. Thank you guys for joining me here. I get a little nervous, but it's okay. We're just having fun. Okay, so this is going to be your pile selections, 1, 2, or 3. And you can go ahead and skip to wherever your part of the reading is, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll see you. Okay, hey guys, so if you picked pile 1, this is your reading, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick the top 6 cards from the deck. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's kind of adjust this really quick so it's easier to see. Okay. And this deck, I just want to point out, this deck here that I'm using is my Deviant Moon Tarot deck, and I've had this deck. This is one of my first decks that I ever got almost, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, something like that. So I've had this deck for a really long time. It's one of my favorites. So let's just jump right in. I do still use the little booklet because I have found that different decks will slightly change the meaning of certain cards. Not too terribly much so, but I like to use the interpretation that comes with the card itself. And so right here, so this is the first thing that I saw, and it's a little bit alarming. Maybe not alarming, but it does show, so the 4 of Wands, right? This is the 4 of Wands, and I'll show that to you guys. I love the artwork on these. The 4 of Wands usually is about family, home, and family matters, but in the reverse, it does say insecure home life, unstable partnership, and divorce. So you may be going through some sort of rocky situation at home, some sort of separation or divorce, or you know somebody or something along those lines. And it does seem a little dire too, simply because the next card that you have here is the Star in reverse, and I'll go ahead and show you that one. And the Star in reverse says doubting one's ability or stagnant creativity. So if you're, okay, so let me go one step at a time. So if your home life is currently, tumultuous and just not fun, that can have an effect on your creativity. It may feel stagnant, it may feel boring. Maybe they related to one another, in some way you feel stagnant because of your home life. And this next card here, this 10 of Pentacles too, that's interesting because it looks like it's having an effect as well on your money. So this just sounds like it's not really the best situation to be in at the moment. It does say unfortunate family matters, loss of home or money. So, again, if your home life right now is just not it, it's not where it's at. It's causing creativity, it's blocks, it's causing stagnation, and this in turn can cause either loss of home or loss of money or something along those lines. And I totally understand because I have been having my own stagnations, and so I totally get it. But it's not all bad. This tarot, this Tower card at the end is not quite as bad as it seems. This next card here is the Two of Swords, and this is really kind of indicates a struggle. Like, usually, right, when it's in its upright position, it usually indicates there's some sort of struggle. So maybe somebody's butting heads, something like that. But in reverse, it says falsehoods, lies, and treachery. So there is fighting happening. There is some sort of disagreement going on. But this one's a little bit more, what's the word? It's just, it's, you know, it says lies and treachery. And so it's just a little bit darker than just regular fighting. It's a little bit heavier than that. Okay, and then we have the High Priestess here in reverse. I mean, I'm going to try to keep these readings kind of short because I do have 2 other ones to do. But then we have the Judgment in reverse. I'm sorry, not the Judgment. The High Priestess in reverse. And this says ignorance, lack of vision, and holding back true feelings. So it might be that whoever is in this household is, you know, y'all aren't on the same page. Something's going on there. Somebody's holding back how they really feel. And it's not really helping the situation at all. And then that brings us finally to the Tower in reverse. Let's see here. I know the Tower is, you know, it's endings and things like that. Oh, see. So in some decks, the Tower means in reverse can be a good thing, but in this one it says inability to break from sad events or redundancy in life. You may feel stuck. You may feel like you don't have too many options, like you don't know what to do or where to go. You know, which way is this going to happen? And I think, you know, it's important that if you're having this kind of situation, that you take a look and assess and really ask yourself, is this, you know, where I want to be and where I need to be? There are a lot of planetary alignments happening right now that are great for change. You know, and they always say that, but, you know, we have, what was it, like 6 or 7 of the planets were lining up with them, with each other, and it's just like, you know, why not take advantage of that direct energy? I would love to do maybe an extended reading on this and try to get a little bit more information. I guess if I do decide to do an extended reading, I'll provide the link in the description for Patreon, because usually that's where the extended readings will be. But that's all I have for this one. I'm sorry, it does sound like it's kind of not good right now, and it doesn't really give any sort of outcome other than saying like, hey, this sounds like it's difficult to get away from. So it's possible you might need some sort of just, you know, sitting down and really thinking things through. But yeah, that's all I have for that one. Alrighty, so if you chose pile 2, this is your reading. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the top 6 cards from the pile there. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I was mentioning when I did reading for pile 1 that this is from my Deviant Moon tarot deck. And I've had this deck for a really, really long time. It's one of my favorites. So I'll try to show you the artwork as I go. And I also mentioned that I do read from the booklet just because the definition tends to change with each tarot deck, and I want to be able to honor that. And so we'll just go ahead and jump right in. The first card you have here is the 8 of Swords. And it looks like, my goodness, she's being pulled out of her window and there's swords at the bottom, and it just looks dangerous and scary. But what it does say is bondage, being controlled by outside forces, censorship, and restriction. So you may be in some sort of situation where you feel like you can't express yourself, or you're being, hopefully it's not literal, or you feel trapped or stuck in something that you don't really have much control over. You know, again, it says bondage and censorship and restriction, being controlled by outside forces. So maybe there's somebody in your life who's a little bit more controlling than you would care for them to be. Yeah. Then the next one, this is interesting. This is the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords usually is like, and it's upright, it's like resting and stuff like that. But in its reverse, it says renewed vigor, a return to daily life and events or activities. So maybe this something was holding you back. Maybe you were sick or something like that. But now it says you're going back to just regular everyday life. You're going back to activity. So you had to, something was stopping you, kind of holding you back, and now you're back to activity, which is fantastic because then it brings you to the world. And that's like basically like you win. You won at life. It says completion of a cycle or journey, triumph, a hard-fought victory, successful overcome or over adversity. So this must have been quite the challenge. It must have been quite the challenge that when you finally were allowed to go back to a sense of normalcy, it felt really good. It felt like you had won the lottery. It just, it was like, I did it. I got over it. It was great. I'm so happy. But then we come back to the Five of Swords in reverse. So there's quite a few swords in this reading. Something to keep in mind. Sorry, give me 1 second. I get a little lost sometimes in these booklets, but I always find my way. Okay. The Five of Swords in reverse says exposing a false friend, less chance of defeat. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe there was somebody in your life who wasn't being a good friend. Maybe that was part of the situation of feeling like you were trapped by something and finally being able to let go and move past that. And so just being, or if it's not in the past, I would just be mindful of somebody who, here, let me show you, somebody who claims to be a friend, who's just kind of pretending, but they aren't really a friend. So exposing a false friend, less chance of defeat. So just be careful, just be mindful. This one's a nice one. This is the Nine of Pentacles, and usually in upright position, this one's it means like wealth and things like that. But in its upside down position, it does say financial hardship, loss of possessions, theft of one's belongings. Be careful with this person, whoever this is. It might result in this. It might result in this loss of possessions or stealing or something like that. Or just this person doesn't sound like a good person. But it does bring you all the way to the Nine of Cups, which is a nice pace of change, because after this, whatever happens here, just maybe your awareness of it will allow you to make a difference. It seems to me like whoever this reading is for is well aware of a situation and they're able to change the outcome, because you see how it kind of started off a little like, oh no, be careful. There might be some friend who's not good for you and they might try to steal from you. But look here, you have the Nine of Cups, and that says material success, overall well-being, and abundant pleasures and choices. That's what's most important here, is that the choices that we make are how, very much do have an effect on our outcomes and things like that. So just maybe just even having an awareness of like, hey, there's somebody in my life who may not be the best person for me. It might result in this loss of material success, but I can change that, or I can overcome that. I can overcome that, and I can have that abundance, and I have that good positive outcome. And I may do an extended reading for this, and if I do, I'll post that one on my Patreon. But I'm still thinking about it. And that's all I have for this reading. Y'all let me know what you think. See ya. Alrighty, guys. So if you chose pile 3 for your reading, this is it. And I'm just going to pick the top 6 cards off of the deck. And those last 2 readings have been pretty interesting. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't just turn it right around. King of Cups. Okay, I've had a lot of reverse cards today, so I know there's a lot of wacky things going on universally, and especially if you're in the United States. Anywhere really in the world, there's some interesting things happening. But yeah, here we go. And this is, I've mentioned in my other 2 readings already, that this is from my Deviant Moon Tarot. And I've had this deck for a very long time, very, very long time. It was either I would think it was my first deck actually that was gifted to me ever. And so it holds a special place in my heart. And when I do the readings, I do normally read with the little booklet just because the meaning can change from deck to deck. Just, depends on who created it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first card that we have here is the King of Cups. And usually this is somebody with a good emotional creativity and leadership. But in reverse, it does say it's somebody who's difficult to please, somebody who's lacking creativity, and an unscrupulous character. Now, I don't know if this is you or somebody else, but this is what we have going in. Okay, and then we have following that is the Wheel of Fortune, which, as we all know, if you've ever looked at tarot cards, or if you're new to this, the Wheel of Fortune usually means exactly that. Like the Wheel of Fortune just kind of spins, and it can go up and down. But fortunately, we have it in our upright position, and that says fortune, chance, unplanned happenings, fate, and destiny. And so, again, so if maybe you're feeling a little stuck when and so this is interesting because pile 2 also had being stuck with creativity, and then pile 1 had something similar. But yeah, if you're feeling stuck, then just know that your luck is about to change. Things are changing for you in a good way. Interestingly enough, it brings us to the Knight of Cups in reverse. So one of the other ones had a lot of the same suit as well. So that was interesting. Okay, so even if your luck is changing for the better and you have all these beautiful opportunities being presented to you, I would be mindful because this Knight of Cups is a deceptive person, and it also says falsehood and a scam. So if it sounds like it's too good to be true, it probably is, and I would think twice about moving forward with it. And let me show you the card. I don't think I showed you that's the Knight of Cups in reverse. So just be mindful of the opportunities that are presented to you, because not all that glitters is gold. This next card, I love this card so much, and I'm going to show you in its upright position because I really, really like this card. This is the Death card, and I know that a lot of people don't like the Death card. This is one of my favorite cards because usually Death cards mean endings, and where there's endings, there's new beginnings. But in this one, it's a little different. In its reverse position, it does say turbulent change and bad situations. So again, this opportunity that shows up, just be mindful of the people, because you could have this sort of outcome of like, yes, it was an opportunity, yes, there's change, but like it isn't for the best. It's not beneficial, I think, because even when I look at the last card and I jump ahead, like I can see that it doesn't have the best kind of resolution. So then the next card that you have here is the Five of Pentacles, and this is somebody who may be down on their luck financially. Well, actually, being in reverse, it does say improved outlook, better times, and new employment, which is great. This is a little confusing, right? Because then we have this one's kind of going down, up, down, down, up, down, right? Because this is like, okay, well, even if this person, even if this false person does, create a bad situation, you'll still have a new opportunity, new outlooks, and better, But then that's the funny thing, because then you come to the Five of Pentacles, and it's like, this is kind of a roller coaster that we're on, because the Five of Pentacles is material hardship and homelessness and poverty and a lost soul. Oh, I'm sorry. Please, that's not the correct one. Let's fix that. The Five of Wands. I knew I was reading a little different. So this Five of Wands is actually competition, discord, struggle, legal troubles, and conflict with neighbors. So just be careful if you do have to move, if you do have to find yourself in a new living situation. Again, like it's like you know, this person who's just not a very good person, and then opportunities, and then another not good person, and then bad change, and then another opportunity. But then like I'm still fighting and I'm still struggling and I still haven't come out of this. So don't get yourself stuck into situations that you can't get yourself out of, because nobody wants that. It wouldn't be any fun. But that's all I have for this reading. I tried to keep them kind of short just so I wouldn't make, I wouldn't have to drag on too long. But I'm still considering if I'm going to make a Patreon for any of these, an extended reading, just to get a little bit more insight. I might do that. But yeah, that's all I have for this one for now. If I do do an extended reading, I'll provide the link for it in my description. And that's all I have. Thanks. Thank you guys again for joining me. I do enjoy doing these readings. I've been doing readings for well over 20 years. As you can see, I don't know, you can't see it, but I do have several decks, and I do plan on making more videos. Let me know what you think in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.